Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see Microsoft Planner integration with AgilePoint. Microsoft Planner is a planning application available on Microsoft 365 platform. Planner enables users and teams to create plans, assemble and assign tasks, share files, communicate and collaborate with others, and receive progress updates. So let us quickly check how to create access token. Now let us create the access token. Click on Manage, App Builder, Global Access Token, Add Token. I search Microsoft 365. I say Next. For MS Planner, we need OR 2.0 access token. I have provided the token name. Let's see how to get tenant ID, application ID and key. So let me log into Azure portal. I have logged into Azure portal. I click on app registrations. Click on new registration. I provide the name MS Planner demo and I select the platform as web and provide the reply URL and I click register. App is created successfully. Let me copy the tenant ID and paste it here. Let me copy the client ID and paste it here. Now let us provide the required permissions and create the certification. I click on API permission, click on add permission, click on Microsoft Graph, click on delegated permissions. We can quickly search. We need group read all, group read write all. So I add this permission. Let me add the remaining delegated permission. I click task. I need task read write. I need to add one more permission. Add permission, Microsoft Graph, application permission, task read write all, add permission. Once you have added all the required permissions, click on grant admin consent. I say yes. All the required permissions have been granted. Now let us create the certificate. I click on new client secret. I provide the name MS Planner and I say add. Here the value is generated. This is required for the key. I just paste it. I click here to generate the access token. Access token is generated. Let me save it. This is about access token creation. Now let us look into the app. I click on app builder, all apps. I search the app Microsoft Planner demo. Let me open the application. As part of Microsoft Planner, we have added 12 activities. Let's quickly look into the demo process and check the configuration. Create plan. Let's click on the configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Create plan configuration. We need to provide the access token, plan name, group name or ID. In case you want to select the existing one, you can do it. In case there is no group associated, you can even select it as private or public. In case you provide group name, this will be automatically hidden. We will be storing the plan ID in the variable and store the group ID in this variable. So this is about create plan. Next one is update plan configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. For update plan configuration, we need to have the access token, plan ID and the new plan name. Shared user email. This can be single. In case you want to provide multiple, you can use semicolon and provide. Otherwise, you can even select the users from the Microsoft Planner. Category, you can add as many category as you want. You can provide the details and you can save it. This is about update plan configuration. Next one is get plan configuration. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Get plan configuration will have access token, plan ID and map response to app schema. Let's quickly look into the app schema. This is the schema that has been mapped. We can quickly check. This is about get plan activity. Next activity is create bucket configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. For create bucket configuration, we need to provide the access token, group name or ID, plan name or ID. In case you select the corresponding group name, the corresponding plan also will be automatically populated in case you want to use that. Bucket name for creation, and we will store the bucket ID response in the variable. Next one is rename bucket configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Rename bucket configuration, we need to provide the access token, plan ID, bucket name or ID, and the new bucket name. This is about rename bucket. Create task activity configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Create task configuration, we need to pass the access token, group name. In case you want to select, you can select it, otherwise you can get it from the form field. I have populated the form field and I have selected I am providing the plan name or ID, bucket name or ID, and the task name. In create task we have basic and advanced. So basic will contain start date, due date, assignee ID or email, task notes, and store task ID in this variable. Let's check in advanced. Priority you can provide from the form field or you can select it from the drop down. Progress, again you can select it from the drop down or from the form field. Label, you can select it from the drop down or provide from the form field. Repeating node, in case you want to enable repeating node, you can select this because there will be multiple checklist in a task, so we have made it as repeating node. In case you want to remove this and create the items here, you can create as many items you want and proceed further. Checklist item, it will have the string and status whether it is checked or unchecked, and the response will be stored in the variable. So this is about create task. Update task configuration. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Update task configuration will have access token, task ID, bucket name or ID. Again in update task we have basic and advanced. New task name, preview type, start date, due date, assignee ID, task notes. So preview type will be automatic, checklist or description. Coming to advanced, we have priority, progress, label, repeating node, checklist item. This is about update task. Next activity is get task configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Get task configuration will have access token, task ID, and we will map the response to app schema. Let's quickly look into the schema. This is the schema. Mapping is done. This is about get task. Next task is remove assignee. Let's quickly check the configuration. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Remove assignee configuration, we need to provide the access token, task ID, assignee ID or email that needs to be removed. In case we need to remove multiple, you can provide with semicolon. This is about remove assignee. Next one is delete task configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Delete task configuration, we need to provide the access token and the task ID that needs to be deleted. This is about delete task. Next activity is delete bucket. Let's quickly check the configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. Delete bucket configuration, we need to provide the access token and the bucket ID which needs to be deleted. Last one is delete plan. Let's quickly check the configure activity. General configuration will have display name and description. I say next. We need to provide the access token and the plan ID that needs to be deleted. This is about all the activities of Microsoft Planner. Now let us look at the runtime of it. I go to Work Center, my apps, Microsoft Planner demo. I'll kick off the instance. I have provided the plan name and I have provided the existing group ID or name. In order to get this, you have to log into your planner. Click on user profile and click on view account. Click on my groups. Click on groups I own. Here you will find all the groups that you are part of. So I have created planner demo and I am using it. I have provided the details. I click submit. Let's go to task. Let's quickly open the process monitor. Create plan is completed. Let's check in the planner. Plan is created. Update the plan task. This is the detail that we provided. I say next. New plan name. I call it as MS Planner. I have provided the new plan name, category names, and the email for which the access has to be given. I click on submit. Let's quickly check if it is completed. Update plan is done. So let's refresh. Plan is updated with the new name and it has given the access to the users that I have specified. So moving on to get plan task. It has fetched the plan ID plan title, created time, container ID, container type, and the URL. Now let's quickly create a new bucket. I call the bucket name as in development and I click submit. There is no in development bucket. Let's refresh. In development bucket has been created. Next activity is rename bucket. I rename the bucket from in development to development in progress. I click submit. Let us check if it is completed. Rename bucket is complete. Let's quickly see if it is done. The bucket name is updated to development in progress. Now moving back, create task activity. I have provided the task name, assignee email, and I am selecting the start date, due date, and priority and progress, and provide the category label, that is yet to start. I can provide the task notes. I have provided the task notes. I click next. Here we are creating checklist. I have added the checklist item, check API and test API. Currently it is not done, so I have kept it unchecked and I submit it. Create task is in progress. Let's quickly refresh and see. Task is created. Our category which we created are coming here, and the checklist is also created. It has created the note with the corresponding details that we have provided. Let's close this. Update task activity. I have provided the new task name and the task bucket name to which it needs to be moved. Let's quickly see. I'll be moving this to here and I'll be changing the category label to in progress, and I click next. Here I'll mark these checklist items as completed and I will add one more. I have added the third item and I have kept it unchecked and I click submit. Update task is completed. Let's quickly see. I refresh it. It has moved to do. It has updated the name. It has changed the label to in progress. It has completed the activity and it has created a new checklist item as well. Moving on to get task activity. It has fetched all the details of the activity and it has provided all the details, corresponding details of the activity. Now let's move to remove assignee. In this particular activity there is only one user who is associated. Let's remove it. I have provided the user detail and I click submit. Let's refresh it. User is removed successfully. Let's wait for the timer to complete. Delete task. Let's quickly see if the task is deleted. Task is deleted. Next one is delete bucket. Delete bucket is successful. Let's refresh. Bucket is deleted successfully. Delete plan. The plan you're looking isn't there. The plan is also deleted successfully. This is all about Microsoft Planner integration with AgilePoint. Thanks a lot for your time.